Welcome to our Uni-Vibe series.
In this series, we're going to share with you Uni-Vibes from some of our favorite manufacturers.
And maybe we'll figure out, does the drive go before or after a vibe? On today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're going to take a look at a vibe pedal. But before we get into that, I'd like to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel, clicking on the notification bell. Your interaction with us helps us interact with great people in the industry. In this case, we went to the Beard's pedal shelf, or the combined pedal shelf, and pulled off the Vibronaut from Lovepedal, which the Beard has used on other pedal boards, as proven by the piece of Velcro on the back of it. And he's going to tell you about the pedal and what we're going to do tonight.
Yeah, so this one's been around, I think, a little bit longer than the channel. Back when he was doing probably, one of the things that happened right about the beginning of the channel is when he was doing all those big sales, like $50 pedals and stuff like that. So I don't know what I paid for it, but it's been around a good while. And it hasn't been off the shelf in a little while, so I was pleasantly surprised by it tonight. And think that maybe I was using it wrong when I used it before. Like, we discovered some things about it that with this warble knob. There's 4 knobs. There's a speed knob, a warble knob, a tone knob, and a volume knob. Volume, unity, somewhere around 12 to 1, 12 to 2 o'clock. Yep. And then you had a little bit extra if you want to push it a little bit to counteract that perceived volume loss. I just love to say that. Speed, obvious. Warble, not so obvious. And then tone, which is, kind of like low to high. Right. And we're going to twist those knobs. We'll talk more about those in a minute. So every time we do Uni-Vibe, I plug in this 60th anniversary American Strat into the Uni-Vibe, into the DLS effects most of the time, and then into the Tyler amp, and play the same thing. So we can kind of compare them at some point to one another. And that clip sounds a little bit like this.
All right, so my first trip with the Vibronaut, I grabbed the Sire S10 that is on loan from Zzounds with a few other guitars. We shot a video about this and more to come. I wanted to play it clean, and I wanted to debunk a potential myth that the Beard may have set up front where he's like, maybe I wasn't sure how to use it. Well, let me tell you, he does, because I pulled it off the shelf and plugged it in, and I don't think I really turned any knob, and it sounded great. So here's what I did.
Come to the point of the video where we like to spin the knobs for you a little bit and maybe try to decipher what they do. So Lovepedal, we could not find the manual for this. I'm not saying that we spent a lot of time looking for it, but we couldn't find the manual for it. And sometimes it's hard to tell. So we're going to start with the middle knob, which is warble. I would almost think, all the way to the left would be the least amount of warble and it would get bigger as you go. But I feel like it's not doing that. Right. So we're going to start within the middle. We're going to go all the way left and then we'll go all the way right. And then we'll go back to the middle and just let you hear how it changes. I don't think it's just going from least to most. It almost feels like the middle's like in between two different settings, right?
Yeah.
So here we go.
Middle. I think I heard what you were talking about.
Yeah.
All the way to left sounds one way, all the way to the right sounds one way. In the middle is both of them blended together. And maybe that sounds incredibly obvious, but I think that's what you were saying, and I think I heard it that time.
Yeah, we could be wrong. So
never have been in the past, but we can start now. Just kidding.
Let's do the same kind of thing with the speed knob. I actually want to go all the way left and roll the speed knob from 0 to full. And then go all the way right and roll. Because I'm wondering, all the way right, I feel like when the speed gets up, it's going to be very choppy.
Yeah.
But I just want to kind of hear it. So we'll start all the way left. We'll start the speed knob down, and then we'll go for it. There you have it.
Right.
There is one other knob on here. There's a tone. Let's get back to kind of like a more reasonable setting. And then I'll take the tone all the way down and we'll run that around too. You're nodding like you understand that one.
Yeah, I could hear that one because we played with it earlier. We were struggling to hear maybe some variations in the tone, but I heard it that time.
Okay. And then the volume knob is just, we've probably where it is right now, somewhere around pretty close to Unity. Yeah. And you can bump it up. You get a perceived volume knob with a modulation effect. So you can bump that up with the volume knob. It's a nice addition. Those are the knobs. Pretty straightforward. Here's the thing. I'm not 100% sure I understand everything that's happening.
Right.
On the other hand, it's been really easy to get a good sound out of it.
True.
So we try, whenever we do these, try to take the riff from that Leslie Sound series we did and see if we can get a Leslie-ish thing out of it. Because there is that rumor that Josh Scott has quashed.
Right.
That this was designed after a Leslie, right? So can we get a Leslie sound? And I could not get kind of the fast Leslie I liked. But then I was like, what if we slowed it down? And so here's that riff with a slow Leslie sound.
All right, so now we're going to move on to where we're going to add some drive and fuzz and different things to the Uni-Vibe to see how it responds. So I decided to grab the Harley Benton guitar that we had a Porter pickup put in last year, courtesy of Porter. Thank you very much for that. It's a fun guitar for the price point, and we probably tripled the price when we put the Porter pickup in. But I wanted to pair it up with the Godfather II from BMF Effects. I had it on the hotter side of that, and this is what I played.
For my final clip, I grabbed this 99 Deluxe Fender American Deluxe Strat. First nice guitar I ever bought. And my wife won't let me take it anywhere because she hates the color. Makes no sense. So why not take that guitar and plug it into a $14.99 pedal I had down here for 3 years and never plugged in. Until the other week, we plugged it in. The Super Fuzz, the SF300 from Behringer. Crazy fuzz pedal, and I'm a little taken with it because I can't figure out where all these octaves are coming from. Everything's set at 1 except for basses at 12 on fuzz 1, and there's this crazy octave stuff happening into the Vibronaut, into the DLS Effects Echo Tour, and then Tyler. It sounds like this. That's all the clips we have for you on the Vibronaut, which has been stuck on my pedal shelf for a few years. I guess it's not as bad as being stuck in space for
You're right,
an extra 9 months.
That's right. That's right. It can still, well, it can never walk. It probably can't walk now either.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's a Vibronaut. Final thoughts.
I was pleasantly surprised because sometimes vibes scare me because I didn't like grow up playing them. And sometimes I feel like they feel a little thin. Maybe they tone suck a little bit. I can never get the speed right to do the Jimmy thing. But again, I think I said in the other clip, when we pulled it off shelf, I went first and I plugged it in. I was doing something clean. I'm like, that sounds great. So other than, again, and I don't think we answered any questions. We probably asked more questions than we answered about the couple knobs and how they work. It's still not hard to cocktail and turn into something that you like. So pleasantly surprised. I got over my fear of vibe, plugged it in, had a great first experience with it. And I think it's great. And I think they're still available. Maybe not directly. I don't know if they're directly right now.
They show up in the sales sometimes.
Yeah.
If he's a mailing list you can get on, he sends you out like secret Saturday sales and stuff. And, they'll do like a limited run of so many and he'll have these in there. It's funny that you said that though, because like Uni-Vibe was one of my favorite effects for a long time until we got into the Leslie thing.
Right.
And now I just love the Leslie pedals, but I feel like when I go to back to Uni-Vibes, I can't really get what I want. And my only experience with them really before that was really the Micro-Vibe. And not everything sounds like the Micro-Vibe.
Yeah,
so,
two knobs, right?
Yeah. So anyway, this thing, I thought it sounded really great tonight. I'm still like, part of me is kind of like confused what exactly is going on, but it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You twist the knob until it sounds good, and if it sounds good, it doesn't matter what it's doing or with the, and sometimes it might even be better not to know, because if you know, then you like, well, this is what I think I would want it to sound like. And
it has to go here.
Yeah, it has to be there. And maybe if I found out what it's actually doing, it would
mess everything up.
Yeah, it'd be detrimental to what we discovered tonight, because what we discovered tonight is we can get really great sounds out of this pedal. So that is the Vibronaut from Lovepedal Custom Effects. Thanks for watching. If you would like, you click that subscribe button, notification bell, likes, leave a comment. Anytime you interact with the channel, it's what helps us interact with cool companies. Like Lovepedal, for instance, who we have interacted a little bit with over the years. Right. And getting cool stuff to share with you. So it's a win-win situation. Really. With that,
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear.